Nick Chubb the other day posted something on Instagram that I think is pretty interesting, to be honest with you. He sent a letter that just said this, very short, very simple. Picture of him working out. They've already wrote my ending when I'm just getting started. I got 3 questions that go with Nick Chubb here, because to me, Nick Chubb is a guy that you consider if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You consider him if you're any team in the NFL, and the Steelers don't need a running back, but they might. And come next Sunday, they really might. Because if the Pittsburgh Steelers walk into the NFL draft, right now where we currently sit, nobody has them taking a running back in the first 2 picks, which means round 1 and round 3 are gone. You're looking at round 4 by the time they pick a running back. Maybe round 5, because that's the interest in the guys that they've shown. And obviously, if the board falls in their, not in their favor, they end up with an Omarion Hampton or a Travion Henderson or something like that at pick 21. But most likely, the Steelers are going running back in the 3rd earliest. And I don't think it's going to be in the 3rd. I think it's going to be in the 4th. And if that's the case, you're looking at a guy like Damian Martinez, Dylan Sampson, RJ Harvey, Gibbons. There are names out there that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be targeting, but I don't think any of them come in here as day one, I'm going to be the guy, absolute stud running back that the Pittsburgh Steelers need. So come next Sunday, maybe the Steelers could listen to Nick Chubb. Maybe. And I think Nick Chubb's a valuable pick if he matches 3 criteria. 1, the Pittsburgh Steelers do not land a starting running back in the NFL draft. 2, you got to move on from Cordero Patterson, because you shouldn't have 4 running backs of that caliber to begin with. You shouldn't have 4 running backs where your 4th one is a kick returner that doesn't make any sense, who is shockingly still on the roster. Okay. And 3, what's his price tag? Because if his price tag is cheap and the Pittsburgh Steelers could get Nick Chubb for little to nothing, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you consider it? Because Nick Chubb at the end of the day is going to sign with somebody. And if he does and he pops off, every other team that could have used a running back is sitting here not super happy about the situation and not super happy that they didn't even call Nick Chubb. The Pittsburgh Steelers know who Nick Chubb can be if Nick Chubb is healthy. If you need that as your 2nd running back, with Kenneth Gainwell as your 3rd coming off the bench, and then a rookie that can develop for a year and then become that guy, why not? Why not? Running backs have short shelf lives. We have no idea if Jaylen Warren's going to be a 3-down everyday runner that can last because of his size. And a lot of people question that. I constantly get people asking me, is Jaylen Warren going to be the guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers? He is. But like every other position, why not have a backup plan? Why not have other options so that Jaylen Warren can stay healthy by the end of the season? Kenneth Gainwell doesn't have to be a power back if Jaylen gets hurt. And Nick Chubb can just be exactly what Nick Chubb should be, which is just a guy who you can hand the football off to in any situation and be okay. People will say J.K. Dobbins and say, why not go after him? He's younger. I agree. But J.K. Dobbins and the lack of interest, in my eyes, tells me that he's too expensive. Tells me that teams have reached out and that chances are he's looking for more money than the NFL is willing to pay him. Nick Chubb cannot come with an expensive price tag. Nick Chubb is looking to get back in the league. He's looking to be on a team this summer because he knows he could still play football. So could J.K. Dobbins, but J.K. Dobbins is young enough to say, I want $5 million. I want $6-7 million a year. I bet you Nick Chubb's 2.5. I'd sign Nick Chubb for $2.5 million, and I'd feel very okay with Nick Chubb at $2.5 million. If you want to sign him for 3, again, totally fine. I doubt Nick Chubb goes for a boatload of money. I just do. And if that's the case, if his price tag's cheap, if you can move on from Cordero Patterson, and if you don't land a Trey Henderson, a Quinshon Judkins, a Caleb Johnson, or an Omarion Hampton, Sunday morning, you should test the waters and say, hey, how healthy are you? You want to come in for a physical? Let's start there. I think that's fine. Because if you go deeper into the draft, get a Martinez, get a Dylan Sampson, get a Devin Neal, get an RJ Harvey. You need a guy, or you need a year to see what they become. because they're not instant guys. Nobody after the second round of the draft is an instant guy in the NFL and shouldn't be viewed as one. Okay. Call Nick Chubb. Why not? He's cheap. I would say it's not an urgency thing. It's just if you need a running back, he's better than Cordell Patterson. And to be honest, he's probably better than Kenneth Gainwell. Awesome. Sounds good. Get a trio in your backfield. Feel pretty good about the situation.